You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In the heart of a federal prison, a chilling plot unfolds. A conspiracy so shocking it threatens to rewrite the narrative of one of the most controversial figures in music history. R. Kelly, the R&B icon, is fighting not just for his freedom but for his life. Breaking news recently revealed allegations of a murder-for-hire scheme orchestrated by those entrusted to uphold justice. This is not hearsay. This is not speculation. This is a story backed by sworn testimony, empirical evidence, and a courageous inmate who refused to carry out the sinister mission. Tonight we discuss the explosive cracker that federal prosecutors Angel Krull and Elizabeth Geddes along with prison officials in fact conspired to silence R. Kelly forever. This is a story of betrayal, corruption, and a man caught in the crosshairs of a system that may have gone a little too far. Robert Kelly, also known to the world as R. Kelly, has been a polarizing figure for decades. A musical genius whose chart-topping hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition defined an era. He's also been a man engulfed in legal battles since his wrongful 2022 conviction on racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Kelly has been serving an abnormally long 30-year sentence in a federal penitentiary in North Carolina. A sentence which even some cold-blood murders don't get. Recent court filings have unveiled a disturbing twist in his story. A plot which, when proved in court, could shake the foundations of the justice system. On June 10 this year 2025, Kelly's legal team led by attorney Bo Brindley, filed an emergency motion in Chicago demanding his immediate release to home detention. The reason being a sworn declaration from an inmate named Michael Glenn Stein, a terminally ill member of the Aryan Brotherhood who alleges that the Federal Bureau of Prisons officials solicited him to murder R. Kelly. This wasn't a random act of violence. According to Stein's testimony, this was a calculated move to silence R. Kelly, who his attorneys claim was on the verge of exposing disturbing misconduct by prison officials and prosecutors. Let's break this down. According to the court filing, 3 Bureau of Prisons officials allegedly approached Michael Glenn Stein in early 2025. Stein, who is a high-ranking member of the Aryan Brotherhood, was serving time in a federal facility in Arizona when he claims he was offered a deal too shocking to ignore. In exchange for carrying out the murder of R. Kelly, prison officials allegedly promised him leniency. Potentially even freedom in light of his terminal illness. The plan was set in motion when Stein was transferred from Arizona to FCI Butner, the same North Carolina prison where Kelly is currently housed, and placed in the same unit as the singer in March 2025. But something unexpected happened. Stein, who by his own admission was prepared to carry out the act, had a change of heart. Instead of following through, he approached Kelly and confessed the plot. In a sworn statement, Stein detailed how prison officials directed him to kill Kelly to prevent the singer and his legal team from exposing alleged corruption tied to his federal cases. This wasn't just a rogue inmate acting alone. This was, according to Kelly's attorneys, a coordinated and concerted effort involving those tasked with protecting inmates. Imagine being R. Kelly in that moment. Locked in a cell far from the stage and the spotlight, moreover over wrongful convictions, and learning that the very system meant to uphold justice is allegedly plotting your death. Like we have tagged it before for onlookers, it's a scenario straight out of a Hollywood thriller, but for Kelly it's all too real. Stein's confession alone is the bombshell evidence that should now see R. Kelly released if this country's justice system truly works. It's painful to know that if he hadn't changed his mind and proceeded with this senseless plot, the name R. Kelly would be no more than lying in a 4-by-6-foot grave, buried with all the talent that he brought to the global music industry. And this is likely the very same way we lost Michael Jackson. Meanwhile, the murder-for-hire plot is only part of the story. Kelly's legal team alleges that this conspiracy began long before Stein's involvement, dating back to Kelly's time at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago while awaiting trial. According to the motion, Kelly's former cellmate at the MCC, who is a convicted sex trafficker from India, worked with prison officials to steal attorney-client correspondence from their shared cell. This wasn't just a breach of privacy. It was a deliberate attempt to sabotage Kelly's defense. The stolen letters meant to be protected under attorney-client privilege were allegedly handed over to federal prosecutors, including Angel Krull and Elizabeth Geddes. Kelly's attorneys claim this correspondence was used to manipulate witnesses, including Kelly's former girlfriend Azriel Clary, turning her against him out of jealousy and coercion. This breach, they argue, tainted the fairness of Kelly's trial, giving prosecutors an unfair advantage by accessing privileged communications. Attorney-client privilege is a major cornerstone of the American legal system. It ensures that defendants, no matter their charges, can communicate freely with their lawyers without fear of interference. The theft of Kelly's mail therefore represents a gross violation of his constitutional rights. But it doesn't stop there. The motion suggests that when Kelly's legal team began uncovering evidence of this misconduct, the stakes escalated. Prison officials, allegedly desperate to cover their tracks, turned to the unthinkable, which is eliminating R. Kelly entirely. And this is how racist and extremist inmate Michael Glenn Stein was hired to kill the R&B king. As if one murder plot wasn't enough, Kelly's attorneys uncovered evidence of a second threat. In June 2025, they learned that another member of the Aryan Brotherhood was allegedly directed by prison officials to kill both Kelly and Michael Glenn Stein, the whistleblower who exposed the initial plot. This second inmate, according to the filing, was tasked with silencing both men to ensure the truth would never come to light. This escalation paints a chilling picture. Kelly's legal team argues that these actions were not random but part of a broader effort to suppress evidence of corruption within the Bureau of Prisons and the prosecution's case. The involvement of two inmates, both tied to a notorious gang, raises questions about how far this alleged conspiracy reaches. Were Krull and Geddes directly involved, or were they unwitting beneficiaries of a rogue operation? The answers remain unclear, but the allegations are backed by Stein's sworn declaration, a document that carries legal weight and that cannot be dismissed as mere speculation. For R. Kelly, this is now more than a legal battle. It's a fight for survival. His attorneys argue that he cannot safely remain in federal custody, where the very officials tasked with his protection are allegedly plotting his demise. The emergency motion filed on June 10 seeks to have R. Kelly released to home detention, where he can continue serving his sentence under safer conditions. The filing emphasizes that Kelly's life depends on the oversight of literal guards and jailers who have betrayed their duty. Kelly's legal team has even made a public plea to President Donald Trump asking for his intervention to secure the singer's release. They point to a pattern of alleged misconduct, from the theft of privileged communications to the solicitation of murder, as evidence that R. Kelly cannot receive fair treatment in the current system. Whether or not Trump responds, the motion underscores the gravity of the situation. These allegations, if proven, could have far-reaching implications. They raise questions about the integrity of the federal prison system and the conduct of prosecutors tasked with upholding justice. Angel Krull and Elizabeth Geddes, both seasoned federal prosecutors, have been named in connection to this scandal, though no direct evidence of their involvement in the murder plot has been made public yet. However, the claim that they received stolen attorney-client correspondence, which was proved by an FBI report, casts a shadow over their roles in Kelly's prosecution. The involvement of the Aryan Brotherhood, a white supremacist gang, adds another layer of complexity. Why would prison officials allegedly turn to such a group to target a black man? Is this a case of racial vendettas, institutional corruption, or something even deeper? The answers may lie in the evidence. In fact, R. Kelly's legal team claims to possess evidence they say points to systemic efforts to silence him before he can expose the truth. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also, remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.